For educational purpose only.
What is up, guys? Now you know we're the plug-in. We're here to hook you up, and we ain't talking no bullshit hookups either, fam. From grow lights to fertilizers, if you need dry or liquid organic fertilizers, Neptune's Harvest has got you covered. Made by growers, for growers, Neptune's Harvest has some of the best fish fertilizer around. Not just that, but their crab and lobster shell, the stuff is amazing. Lots of people don't always realize this, but after filleting a fish, there's lots of great stuff that remains, but may just go to waste. Now Neptune's Harvest was able to turn that amazing stuff into some great fertilizer that's used by many gardeners across the globe. Your plants will love you for it, dude. From veg and flower nutrients to loads of other organic inputs that you can work into your existing feeding schedules, it's truly amazing. Use the discount code ICANTHC for a nice discount on all Neptune's Harvest products. Now, light is also super important to get the best quality and product. The sun is perfect, but for those times when we can't harness the sun, the Moss Hydro Grow Lights never disappoint. They're full spectrum LEDs, they rock! They've got quantum board, bar style lights, they've got all types of styles. Their lights come with external dimmers, some models even have awesome detachable features as well. So use the discount code ICANTHC and snag a discount on your lights, exhaust systems, and more, even your grow tents, dude. Now Qualitrips has some awesome gear, and their germination booster is truly amazing. Definitely couple up their germination booster with some of their gear for amazing results. Discount code ICANTHC works on all Qualitrips gear. Now smash the like button down below, hit that bell, roll one up, and let's get ready to toke it down on today's episode.
We're about to take it back.
Okay.
Yes, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode on the Talkin Loud podcast, where we discuss everything dank, icky, sticky, gassy, and all that good stuff. And today, I got a very special guest in the house because I'm going to show you guys something that I only found out about recently, and it's called electrostatic misting, man. And I'm sorry if I just sort of caught myself there. I just ripped a bowl and I'm a little frazzled, man. I'm really sorry about that, guys. But on a real, man, I'm super stoked to have with us today three very special guests. We've got Brian and Kyle. How's it going, gentlemen? How's it going?
Well, buddy, thank you.
Awesome.
Very good, thank you.
Nice. What about you guys? Usually what I like to do just to kick things off is just ask how things are going on over where you're at, just find out where you guys are chilling at. So many guests on the podcast, they're chilling out from different places all over the world, man. So where are you guys chilling at?
I'm out of West Palm Beach, Florida, and I know that Kyle's out of Denver, Colorado. So
dope. Kyle, you and I are both in the same state, brother. I love that, man. Well, actually, I just, for you guys, if you guys don't know, electrostatic misting is something that's really, really interesting, and we're going to get into all of that today. But I had the pleasure of kicking with you guys out at Canicon, man, and I had the pleasure of seeing some of you guys' products, some of these electrostatic misters. So I just actually got this little clip. This is actually some footage that I took out there when I was kicking with you guys, and I'm really interested to just get into all of this today. That's Kyle and I kicking it. Brian comes in a little bit later, but I'm really excited just to drill down into some of this today, and the importance of it in the garden, how we can use it in the garden as a home grower, even on a commercial scale, and just to understand the nuances between electrostatic misting and just regular misting, because it's really a lot, man. So just to kick things off, I'm gonna let you guys take the floor, and you can just sort of let me know what static misting is all about.
Yeah, man, thanks for that intro. It's well put.
Great.
So electrostatic spraying is what our machine does. And if you don't know what electrostatic spraying, it's actually been used in the ag business since the late 70s, predominantly through a helicopter and aircraft for crop dusting. So as those planes and helicopters are flying really low towards the crop line, they're actually dropping solution that's electrostatically charged. And what is happening is as that product is falling towards the ground, it's going to want to adhere to anything that's grounded. So plant material, before it gets to the ground and in our waterways. We don't want to pollute our waterways, and we want the product to land on the plant itself to be as most effective as possible. So the whole concept of electrostatic spraying is actually going to have a force stronger than gravity and move towards anything that's grounded before it can get to the ground. What that does for you is it leaves your grounds and your walkways dry, leaves your areas around your plant dry, and all of your sprayed products will land on the plant itself, which is going to increase the efficacy tenfold of your sprayed products. Now, what that does for you is a lot of the different products that are being utilized through our machine as it's landing towards the plant, it's going to coat the top sides evenly and uniformly. It's because it's going to stick like magnets. So think of the micron size, which ours is 70 to 100 microns. They're going to land uniformly all throughout the plant material, on the tops, on the sides, and on the undersides.
Yeah.
All with one ergonomics motion. You're going to be able to obtain all of that facets with just one style of spraying, which is what makes electrostatic spraying very unique and very popular in any agricultural industry per se.
Very interesting, man. Like, guys, drop it in the comments if you know about electrostatic misting, because I know about like regular foliar sprays, just spraying stuff onto plants and stuff, but this is like a completely different ball game. So smash the like button for that, because we got some awesome guests on here who gonna break it down in a really easy way for you guys to understand and for me to understand, because I know I'm a simple kind of guy and you guys can literally break it down. So what's the you mentioned like you can spray it onto, and you can cover a lot of surface area, even the bottoms and stuff. So what would you say is like the main difference between electrostatic misting and foliar sprays? Is it just like that in particular, just that one thing, or is there something else? Is it wider than that? How does it go?
Yeah, so there's a lot of differences between, let's say an atomizer or a trigger sprayer or a pump up sprayer, or even a fogger in general. So all of those things don't have electrostatic properties. So gravity is going to do what gravity does, and it's going to take it to the ground. Where electrostatic spraying, it'll actually, with a force stronger than gravity, be attracted to grounded objects before it gets to the ground. Okay. So the whole concept of electrostatic spraying is you're going to get a uniform coverage, which doesn't allow, like with a trigger sprayer, to puddle. So in leaf material, with a lot of different sprayers, things will puddle, and they'll make a big puddle on the plant material, which is in sometimes case scenarios a burn possibility.
Yeah.
So having uniform coverage where you're not puddling and not running off and not dripping is where electrostatic sprayer sets itself completely apart from just traditional fogging and misting, to what electrostatic properties actually do for you at the end of the day. So there's a big difference between the two. A lot of overspray, a lot of runoff with traditional spraying. Electrostatic spraying, not a lot of overspray, not a lot of runoff, and not a lot of dripping. So your soil doesn't have issues with the product landing in the soil too. So you have a lot of benefits where it's landing where you want it. When you want it on foliar, it lands on foliar, not in your soils.
Very interesting point, man, because Kyle, I'm sure that you've seen situations where, you're just spraying, out of a regular spray bottle, one you get at the dollar store, you fill it up with your foliar spray, and you get a lot of that puddling. I didn't even know that was a word until you mentioned it. I thought about it, and I was like, oh, that's when like everything catches on the leaves, pretty much pools up there, and you can end up with some burn on there, especially if you're foliar spraying. So, damn, that's crazy, man.
Matt, another really good concept for you to kind of grasp too. So when you clean your windows, right? We're cleaning your windows around our house. We're using our whatever glass cleaner we're using. 9 times out of 10, when you're spraying that window, what are you doing? You're trying to catch all that before it gets to the bottom, right? Because you don't want it to run off and all the soils get all over your windowsills and on your floors, right? Well, when you spray electrostatic spraying, it's literally going to cling to the window and stay with no runoff, which is very beneficial, right? So that's a whole concept too. When it sticks to plant material, it sticks and stays there and does what you want it to do.
I got you. I'm seeing Kyle's. He's got the weapon in hand and he's ready to show us something. Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look at this.
So I'm just going to show you guys right here. It's photosensitive paper. That's going to go ahead and change color once we get any sort of liquid on it. You can see it's on both sides of our pole. What we're going to do is go ahead and not directly spray anything. We're going to stand back, go ahead, fire it up, give it a quick douse.
Wow.
And as you can see, even on the back side where we didn't directly spray anything, you have coverage front side and back side.
A 360-degree spray without moving.
Exactly. On top of that, you can see our pole, it's not running off, it's not dripping. It's actually clinging to the pole itself, meaning that you're not getting that oversaturated or puddling like Brian was talking about.
Yeah, and that is crazy, man, because that's like a metal pole. Like things drip down that super easily. It's very easy to overspray on that. So that really helps to manage the excess waste. I'm sure there are a lot of other benefits as well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, micron size is big too, and you'll hear that term in any atomizer or sprayer. Micron size is big,
I
so
got you.
we fall in that 70 to 100 micron category, which is beneficial when you're using certain products, right? So we know anything below 50 microns and below, you're going to be in what's called the fogging category,
Okay.
and then you run the risk of inhalation issues, right? While using our sprayer, we're in the 70 to 100 micron, which is actually in the light rain, light mist category,
Okay.
which actually gives you a little bit of safety zone if you're not wearing the proper PPEs, which we always recommend that you're always wearing the proper PPEs, which is glasses, gloves, and a mask while you're
Yeah.
utilizing any spraying device.
Yeah. Great. That's intense, man. I didn't that thanks for breaking that down. Like, man, guys, smash the like button for that because this is a lot of knowledge we're getting here and just learning about the differences in those micron sizes. It's not all about those rosin bags when it comes to the micron sizes, guys. You can also like look into some of this because this is interesting, man. So the smaller the micron size, the easier it is to inhale it, I'm assuming, and like get it into your body. And if it's a contaminant or some sort of heavy, I don't know, fertilizer, disinfectant, insecticide, anything like that, it can really cause damage, right?
Of course, of
Yes.
course. The smaller the micron size, the longer it's airborne,
Okay,
and then you
wow.
run that risk. So you always want to make sure that you're taking proper care in PPEs, which is glasses, gloves, and the proper respirator or face mask shield per se.
I got you. And Kyle, you were about to say something?
Um, Brian covered it perfectly. I was going to say always use the proper PPE.
Yeah.
I'm a bad example right now because I just have water in here. But
It's just water.
especially when you're using any sort of fertilizer, IPM management, anything like that, you want to make sure that you are using the manufacturer's recommended PPE.
I got you, man. Very interesting stuff, man. And I can see a lot of benefits already, man. But like, I'm really intrigued. Electrostatic mist, and the fact that I think it actually charges the solution. Is that correct? Like, I think I read that somewhere. Does it actually charge the solution?
Yep.
Oh man, that is crazy.
So
So
where Kyle's holding right there, there's actually a charging block in there,
okay,
which is basically charging that droplet. And as the droplet's being expelled out, it naturally is going to want to attach to anything that is negative and grounded per se. So it can work in either polarity, but that's in our case. So that's what it's doing. It's no different than if you've heard of powder coating paint before. So powder coating paint uses the same concept. It's charging the product so that it clings and adheres to the surface uniformly. And I think that word is huge, uniformly, where you're not going to oversaturate your inner branches and your inner nodes and things where you don't want oversaturation. That's kind of a recipe for disaster for some funguses, some molds and things of that. And also mildew. So you always want to make sure that you're not oversaturating with some atomizers, some paint sprayers, some trigger sprayers. There's no control, where electrostatic kind of gives you that control because it gives you the adherence properties that is really desired.
yeah. I see what you're saying, man. And that makes a lot of sense. You got a lot of benefits. I've had one of those pump sprayers where you actually pump, and it pumps the solution through or whatever. And I found that it can be, either very aggressive. It can like cause the dirt and everything to spray up. It can hit my leaves, hit my flowers, or it can be, just a little too light. It takes super long to do anything, and it's really no middle ground. So I think that you guys just pointing that out, especially with the electrostatic sprayers, those benefits, they're really, really important, man. And just flipping the script a little bit, just thinking about it in a commercial sense. So if you were a commercial grower and you had a bunch of plants out there, rows and rows of plants, you can get in there and you can uniformly spray them all without actually having to, try to go around each one and spray them all, right?
Yeah, so we made it a little bit easier for folks in that kind of setting. With the machine comes with a 50-foot hose, you can add a 100-foot hose, and then we also add an extension piece that allows you to push in and out of thicker canopies. They get higher up on canopies, and a lot of different purposes for commercial settings that make the machine more applicable in a setting that's larger, right? So yes, you have a smaller setting. That little wand in hand is easy for a smaller setting, but if you needed to crank it up a notch, we can help you crank it up a notch with an extension piece,
Yeah.
and also two 50-foot hoses, which give you about a 100-foot section to make it more of a centralized electrostatic spraying unit where you got the capacity and the volume to do a lot of area. With a machine that stays in one setting, so you don't even have to move the machine around. You just walk around with a hose and a wand.
I got you. That is crazy cool, man. You guys are really thinking through it all, man. And thinking about the growers as well. So tell me a little bit about like the company itself, man. Because I was doing my research. At first, I thought that the company was actually called E-Static Mist, and then I did a little bit of more research, and I found the website and your guys' email, and it's NSS Enterprises Inc. And you guys also manufacture a bunch of other stuff as well. So can you just touch on that?
Yeah, definitely. So we've actually been an American manufacturer for over 100 plus years, which makes us super unique. So in our industry, which is floor care, that's what we started in 1911 was with standard floor care products. We've been an American-made manufacturer for over 100 plus years, and we're on the third generation of family operation. So the original owner, Bevington, is now the grandson Bevington who owns them. Which is super unique in this industry today. We support a UAW, so we actually have human beings in the back of our factory cranking wrenches, building machines, which is completely different than anything in the industry today. So from an aspect of full care for facilities, we obviously have spraying devices, but then we also make equipment that allows these facilities to stay, quote unquote, what we need is clean room capabilities. We have the machines to allow your facility to also stay as a clean room, which is another benefit to obviously some commercial settings where they have clean rooms where you actually strip down, put their gear on, and then go in because the contamination factor is too high. There's too much risk from cross-contamination from walking outdoors to indoors. So, NSS actually creates a full line of cleaning equipment, which is where we made is the top left corner there is the electrostatic sprayer that has evolved into the ag business because we were brought into this by commercial growers saying the need in the market for a mid-size electrostatic sprayer is an absolute must. Can you guys come and show us what you have? Because you have exactly what we're looking for. So that's kind of where we were brought into the industry is by some commercial growers saying there's electrostatic sprayers and they're either really small or they're very massive that are pulled behind tractors that we can't fit indoors. So the need for something mid-sized is extremely beneficial for obviously us in the commercial setting because the smaller ones are too small. They have some issues that your machine doesn't. So can you guys please come in and make some modifications to it? And I think what you guys have is a home run. So that's exactly what we did. So that's actually the original version. So if you go to estaticmist.com, you're going to see where we've created the new agricultural version, and it is called E-Static Mist. So it's actually a division of NSS. So myself as the managing director and Kyle would be a sustainable cultivation advisor. And we have over 20 throughout the country that can aid in demonstration, that can aid in troubleshooting. And we also have over 495 authorized service centers throughout the country that can be available for any issues, some repairs that need to be done, any warranty claims that need to be filed. We have everything taken care of because we're 100+ year old company. We have served our community well, and we make sure that we're always going to take care of our end user. We wouldn't be around for 100+ years being family owned and operated if we didn't strive on integrity. And that's really what we do at NSS and E-Static Mist.
Wow, man, that runs very deep, and that's something I actually love to hear so much, man. When people come onto the show and they explain, the runnings of the companies, how they started off as these family companies, and they maintain that, and they kept a lot of those core values. I think that's super awesome, man. And just realizing the fact that you guys touch on a lot of different machines, a lot of different pieces of equipment, man. From not just the sprayers, but also some of these burnishers, the floor scrubbers, floor machines, wet and dry vacuum sweepers, a lot of different machines, man. So it got me wondering, it got me pretty curious. A lot of people who run, commercial setups, grow houses, those sort of big commercial operations, do they also purchase a lot of this equipment to, maybe clean down those grow houses and stuff from time to time or anything like that?
Yeah, so one big piece of the project is obviously cleaning and turning rooms. So most people have a very, very heavily influenced sanitization and disinfection process that occurs after a harvest per se. So
Gotcha.
very beneficial to have the right cleaning equipment inside your facility to help and aid that process. Obviously, cleaning and disinfecting are two different terms. A lot of people think they can go in and sanitize and disinfect and they'll be good to go, or vice versa. I can go in and clean and everything's going to be disinfected and sanitized. That's not the case. So knowing the difference between the two is very important in our industry, because we know that there is a big difference between cleaning and a big difference between disinfecting. So
Yeah.
knowing the difference between the two, I think, is very beneficial for our end users.
I got you. And that's a great point because a lot of people don't realize that, there is a difference between actually just cleaning, going in there and wiping down water and soap and actually disinfecting and, bringing out the harsh stuff, the chemicals that will actually, eradicate some of that stuff. And on that note, actually, I think like a lot of people actually use these sprayers from what I've seen, not just in the grow room, but also for, like you mentioned, for cleaning and disinfecting, for those, a lot of the COVID related airborne illnesses and stuff. I think that they use similar stuff to spray. Am I right?
That's very true. Very true. So, and that's one thing that we have that's unique in any agricultural aspect is there's a lot of products out there that may contain some ethanols and things that erode and degrade properties of some of the O-rings on some of the other machines in the industry. And we saw that, and we made a swift move to make sure that we put Viton seals on all of our units, and we made sure that we use metals that weren't going to break down from certain products. So that's another like big differentiator between us and some of the other I guess quote unquote disposable units, which we actually make some that we just showed earlier, some pump up sprayers, trigger sprayers, and things like
Yeah.
that, where we wanted something that was robust, that we can offer a 3-year warranty on a spraying product, which is unheard of in this industry. You're not going to really come across any spraying products that are going to give you a 3-year warranty like NSS does. We build tanks, not toys, and that's kind of our MO. That's who we are.
Dope.
That's why we've been around for as long as we have been. We're out of Toledo, Ohio, and again, we actually really put full effort into our product line.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up, man. Guys, smash the like button for that. They build tanks, not toys. This is not no little boy stuff, man. This is some big boy stuff over here, man. I love that, man. But Kyle, I gotta ask you, man. You've used this sprayer quite often, man, and just tell me how fast and effective is it really, man? Just tell me how fast and effective is it really?
So the nice part about using an electrostatic sprayer over a traditional sprayer is that you get universal coverage like we were talking about. You can also move a lot faster because you know that you are getting that universal coverage. So to give you an idea, I got a nice broccoli plant sitting over here. I'm going to use my 2-foot extension, and we're just going to kind of go over this real quick. So as we can see, I'm not really doing anything too crazy, but you actually have universal coverage, including, where did I hide it? I put some water sensitive paper, and as you guys saw as I was spraying, I did not go underneath. But you can see the specks on the paper.
Yeah.
And see how it's getting that coverage underneath as well.
Wow, you actually went over top, man. You literally were like almost over top. And those got onto the bottom of the bottomest leaf, my dude.
Yep.
What is happening?
So that's where your big time saving as well as money saving is going to be. You're also going to use less product because you don't have to apply as much as you're going through the room. So as you run through the room and you get that universal coverage, you don't have to come back and apply a second or third time. You're also using less the first time through.
I got you. So it saves a lot of time and money and effort because you also just stood in one spot and sprayed it.
Exactly.
You did not have to walk around that plant. You did not have to do anything like that. Usually with my hand sprayers, I got to make sure, okay, I go under each leaf so no insects get on there, make sure you cover everything. This will save a lot of time in the grow room, man.
Time, money, and it's going to make you more efficient. So your people and what you're doing can go on to the next task. You're not having to go over again and again and again. So
yeah, so true, man. And also, I wanted to ask you, Kyle, about the fact that it's cordless. It's super easy to move around and stuff. You don't got to worry about any tangled wires or any of that stuff. How easy is that?
So it's incredibly easy to move. I'm going to actually tilt mine down so you can see where I have the unit parked.
Okay.
Can you guys see it from there?
Yeah, I could just about. Yep, we got it.
Okay, so you can see everything is on wheels, nice and easy to rotate, easy to pivot, easy to move around.
Yeah.
You can even run over, even though nobody ever runs over anything, right? You can run over power cords, hoses, things like that because we have the pneumatic wheels on it.
Yeah.
So having those bigger wheels, you're able to kind of prevent any of that trip and slip hazard as well as move effectively through the ground.
Hey
I
Kyle,
got
do
you.
me a favor and show him the sheathing. So this is a 9-foot hose. It comes in a 50-foot section with the machine. There's actually a sheathing on the hose itself. So you're going to see in a lot of industries that use larger sprayers that have hoses, they'll kink when you go around a corner. This is kink proof. There's a kink proof sheath on there that allows you to bend
God.
and go around materials without kinking your hose. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in the garden, I'm flipping my hose around and it kinks, and I got to walk all the way back over there and unkink it. It's a little aggravating over time. So this allows you to eliminate.
I was just about to say, man, that's a lifesaver, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, even my garden hose, man, it kinks. You can't get the water through. You're like, oh man, why is the water off now? Got to
Yeah.
go and find that kink and unkink it.
Start throwing the hose, trying to get it to undo. Yep.
Literally, you're throwing it for like 10 minutes and realize maybe I should just walk across there and do it myself.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Now, you actually touched on the fact that you guys are fully in the USA, manufactured in the USA, and the Electromist and a lot of you guys' other products can be, fully repaired by any local NSS distributor or service center, man. So just touch on that, because a lot of people, they are very concerned about, not just having good warranties, but also the ease of being able to, take their product in, get parts repaired, get a spare part if you need to maybe get a new hose or something. So just tell us, like, where are the locations and how easy is that whole process?
Yeah, it's super simplistic.
Awesome.
Obviously, we've done this for a long time, and I think that's kind of what differentiates us from a lot of people in the market. Is I always ask people, hey, if you're going to get a sprayer, ask whoever you're buying it from, whether it's your local distribution or if you're buying it from Amazon, Staple, or Granger. What do I do when I need help? I need troubleshooting or something's going wrong. Because that's a big point that a lot of people are having, is where they're spending so much time trying to troubleshoot and figure out why the unit's not working. Usually you can call one of our sustainable cultivation advisors or get right to our inside tech service at the factory, which you're talking to probably one, at most two different people. You're not going to be pushed through a ringer of different calls where you're going to be able to easily get to your answer. Now, we've also made a lot of the smaller things that cause other machines to have big issues a lot easier with ours. And what Kyle's doing right now is he's actually showing you the toolless inline tip filter, which is where our machine kind of differentiates itself from all the others in the market. Is we have 3-stage filtration. So you have an in-tank filter that also has a battery-operated in-tank agitator, which is going to allow your product to stay in suspension. You're going to have filter on the back of the machine that twists off, and then you're going to have also an inline tip filter. And what that's going to do is it's allow you to stop all the issues before it gets to the spray tip itself. And that's where, 95% of your problems are in the spray tip, because a piece of organic material gets there and clogs it. And then you usually have to use a vinegar or boil it to get that to break free, where we're going to stop all those problems before they can even get there. So to answer your question, is we have over 495 authorized service centers throughout the country that can either come to your facility and do an on-site repair, or grab the machine, take it back to their facility, do the repair for you, and bring it back. Now, us being a domestic family-owned company, we're out of Toledo, Ohio, so we're not having those international shipping woes that most people are having. So we don't have a lithium-ion battery also in there. So that's another unique thing, is that we use a sealed AGM battery, and then they're ready and available, where I know that a lithium-ion things are very troublesome to find right now, considering the supply chain constraints that are going on. So being an a la carte, we can literally send you the last bolt on that machine to the very top of that handle. So you can buy a la carte and fix a la carte. So it's another unique thing about the machine. It's completely repairable and rebuildable.
Dude, that is intense, man. I did not like know that was the case, man. And I love the fact that you can go in and you can get the parts replaced so easily, and the fact that you guys look into, okay, these small parts that can cause big problems. A lot of people, if they run into that issue, they're like, oh my gosh, my machine is screwed. I'm just gonna toss it aside now. An investment gone to waste. But you guys are actually out here, making sure that people get the full value from their investment, and simple things like repairing that small valve can have your machine up and running again, right?
Yeah. So a lot of our network basically has given us this feedback where they said that they would spend hours and hours trying to repair their old units, and with ours, it's a couple minutes and they're back in action. A couple minutes to a couple hours. I know time is money in our industry, and I'm sure it is in everybody. So where's the toss up? Where do you gain the benefit? But I think one unique thing about us is that we're family owned and operated. So Matt, say you needed something changed on that machine, you come to me and I can go to our engineers and we can move like the wind, because we're not answering to a corporate America. We're answering to one person saying that this is going to benefit our folks out in the field. We usually move like the wind. So
Yeah.
if you need to do something like that, and that's kind of how this machine has evolved. Again, we were brought to this industry by some growers themselves saying, hey, you guys need to be here. There's a big need for what you have. So come see what we need. And we basically did exactly that. We said, well, show us exactly what you want and we'll build it exactly how you want it. And that's where we are today.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And I'm sure that, like, just being part of the journey and seeing it happen, it's a family run company, you guys actually answer the phones, answer the emails. And the thing I love that I heard you say there is that you guys are really into the community, taking advice from the community and taking feedback from the community. So Kyle, what's the sort of feedback that you've gotten so far from the community, about the sprayer? What's people's view of it out in the field? How has it been working so far?
So out in the field, we're getting a lot of positive feedback. One of the things that we adjusted, especially for the ag industry, is going to the pneumatic wheels.
Okay.
One of the things that we know inside of greenhouses is sometimes the floor is not perfect.
Yeah.
So on our original model made for sanitation, you saw that we had just little caster wheels. We went ahead and put bigger wheels on it so that way it can roll over some of the restrictions that you would normally have. On top of that, we also created the 2-foot wand to get inside and above canopies, as well as that adjustable filter and quick toolless removal filter. Huge part about this, why it makes a big difference, is let's say you've got somebody spraying, all of a sudden you have a clog. You can go ahead, open this up. You saw how quick I was able to get in there. Rinse it out in a hose, rinse it out with some soap and water, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
What we really want to push forward with people is that this is a unit made to make your life easier. We want to be there. We want to be there to support you. And we really want to listen to your feedback as well as what we've seen so far.
I got you, man. And I like that because in the greenhouse, out in the garden, there's small things that can really, trigger a grower and be like, okay, fuck this, I'm not using that ever again, because it just makes my life more difficult than it's meant to be. And some of these sprayers, just the small wheels, pulling those over, a little 3.5 inch garden hose or whatever the size is. I got my inches completely wrong there, but you know what I mean. Lifting it over a garden hose, it tips over all the time, and now you got to go and pick that up. It's just inconvenient, man. And if you're doing stuff on a large scale, convenience is key. So I'm super stoked that you guys, are taking those into consideration, and just the small things, man, like, getting those bigger wheels. They can roll over those hoses like they weren't even there,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you mentioned as well a little bit about like sometimes stuff getting clogged in there. So that leads me to my another question. Can you use like nutrients in there? Can you use like fertilizer in there? Can you use it as sort of a foliar spray almost, where you put a nutrient line in there and the plants are able to uptake that as well?
Yes, of course. So, pest management, foliar feeding, sanitization, disinfection, it's almost endless. So literally we don't have any proprietary products that can run through it. We know that the most caustic and abrasive products can go through our machine at ease. So we have that 3-stage filtration. 9 out of the 10 products that are fertilizers have a lot of organic components in the actual like worm casings or things of that nature. As long as they're water soluble, which most are, it's going to pass right through the system, and you're going to get the effective part on the plant just like you want. And then whatever, organic material is going to stop in those filtrations, and at some point you just rinse them out. Simple as that. So we've had some of the most organic products go through our machine with at ease, where some folks are like, no way, there's no way, because every sprayer that I've used is clogged. I say, well, what we do is at all these shows, we'll have a lot of the nutrient people come to us and say, hey, will our product go through your machine? And I'll ask them to send the product to our engineering department, and we'll test it at our engineering department to make sure that it goes through, so that we can tell you, yes, we're confident that product will go through. And we pretty much have a 99% success rate on the products that we have utilized through this unit. So we've only come across some that we failed, and we failed because it was heavy buildup in some of the filtration, and that's all it was. If you would clean those filters out, it would still spray. It just might be too many times that you have to clean it out. So most people use like a cheesecloth or something, pour into a cheesecloth before they throw it into their hopper there. And then that removes a lot of that heavy organic material before it even gets in there. Then you have 3-stage filtration, which is far superior in the industry of filtration from any spraying device.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, I didn't even think of that. So it's a great point, guys. If you want to run your compost teas or anything like that, or maybe just sort of get some nice foliar spray, with a little molasses mix or something in there, just run it through a little cheesecloth first, and that way you can get any of that worm casting, any of that residue out. And what you mentioned there is that, from what I'm getting, is that a lot of the buildup, it happens over time if you're not cleaning it, if you're not taking these precautionary measures. It's not like I use it once and got a big spray going on in there. It's rather, I actually been trying to spray it because I've been spraying it for some time and everything is working fine, but it's slowly over time got some buildup. It's almost like a pipe that gets clogged over time, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I got you. Makes a lot of sense.
That brings you to the next key point about our machine is cleanliness of the unit after being used. And Kyle can show you on the front of the machine, there's actually a spigot, and that spigot you can open up and utilize to clean the machine out. So a lot of the machines in the industry, cleaning them's hard. So it's actually a spigot on the front. You can open that spigot and it's going to drain all that solution out of that tank. And then you just run some hot water or some vinegar mixtures through there, and it'll basically wash out your system. And that's how easy it is to clean this unit. Some of them are very, very challenging to clean. You can even fit your hand inside that tank to actually wipe it down and clean it out. And that's another big piece. Keeping your tools operating the way that you want them, there's a little bit of effort that needs to go on the backside of any tools, and that goes for any industry. You got to take care of the tools that are taking care of you. And if you can do that, then you can keep this machine running for years and years and years, and that's our goal.
I got you. That makes a lot of sense. And I love just the fact that this entire machine, this entire unit is all on one, it does not take up a large footprint, man. It fits almost in like a 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot space almost. I've seen some big units. They're pretty long. They take up a lot of space in the grow room, and a lot of growers, they just don't have a lot of space. Even if you're growing in a big commercial facility, you got a lot of pieces of equipment. So to try to size down where you can, it's always a good idea, man. So props to you on that, guys. How long was the entire design process, in particular? Because I noted like you guys have got a really nice design, with it. It looks like a unit. You guys build tanks, not toys. So how long did like the design process and all that take for you guys to come up with this?
So originally, when it was for disinfection and sanitizing, it took about 6 months to a year to create and design and go through R&D. And once that was all done, we were able to launch the unit. Obviously, the modifications that we've made to it happened very quickly, a lot shorter in that time span, because they were simple changes, putting pneumatic wheels on the machine, adding the in-tank agitator, which is a battery-operated in-tank agitator that sits at the top of the machine that allows you to actually keep that solution in the inside in suspension, because there's some products that require those oils and surfactants, per se, to be moving at all times so that it does exactly what it's designed to do. So having that in-tank agitator is another beneficial piece to the machine. So adding that and the pneumatic wheels, and then redesigning the wand. So we redesigned that wand to actually give you the capabilities to add that 2-foot extension and that toolless tip on there. That took maybe 3 months to develop everything. And this is all from our users.
Yeah.
So we go to our users and say, what can we do to help you with your job? Because we're a manufacturer of a tool for you. What tools do you need to make your job easier? Again, anybody out there that says, hey, Brian, maybe if it was like this, it would help our process. We evaluate it as a team and say, we agree, let's do it. Or we don't agree, and maybe this is why. Maybe you weren't using it properly, and this is how we can help you see why we think it was designed this way. So there's a lot of different, ways that we can move in the water and the wind and swiftly.
Yeah, I got you, man. And I love that you guys are taking that feedback on board, man. That is just so critical, man. And you know what they say, if you can't take positive feedback, or constructive negative feedback, then you probably wouldn't be able to, improve. So you got to do it, man. So props to you on that, because I think you guys are doing some awesome stuff, man. And I think you also mentioned, dude, the fact that it's an electrically charged mist. You guys made a few changes to the wand itself, right? So the wand does all the charging. To me, that's where all the magic happens. That's where the solution sort of gets charged up to do the electro spray misting sort of thing. But does it only come out as a mist, or can you adjust it so it comes out more like a spray, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we have two different style tips on it. We have a 70 micron tip and a 100 micron tip, which just changes slightly in the angle of spray pattern.
Okay.
So we obviously have that pump set for a 70 and 100 micron tip. So depending on how much fluid you want to come out, you can actually change the droplet size. And then that'll give you a little bit more saturation or a little less saturation, depending on what you desire. And we'll also change the angle of the actual spray itself. So if you want more of a fanning or more of a direct spray, you can utilize either or.
I got you. That is a great thing, man, because that was something I wondered. I was like, okay, does it only come out at a one rate only, or is there a way that we can change it up if I wanted to get more spray on there, and that's great, man. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, so you really can't change the pressure per se. The pressure is set, but you can change the spray angle. Okay. The reason that we don't want too much pressure, one, is because some plants are delicate and they can't deal with a lot of pressure. Yeah. So having a light mist is going to allow you to keep the plant from not even moving when you're almost 2 foot away from the spray. So that's another unique piece about why we don't change the pressures on the unit. I got you. And then also too, you got to remember electrostatic properties are designed to they're going to naturally start losing their charge because the world's negative, the world's grounded. So as we spray that solution, as it leaves that charging block, it starts depleting in that charge because it's naturally grabbing anything neutral that's around it, grounded per se. So we don't want it to go 12 feet because once it goes 12 feet, it's a lot less adherence properties. So keeping it tight and close to where you're at is very important.
Wow, that breaks it down for someone like me to understand it, man. So thank you for that, dude. Appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense. Guys, smash the like button for that, because that is some crazy knowledge there. And it makes a lot of sense why electrostatic spraying is so useful, man, because everything is grounded, it searches that out almost. It searches it out, and the further it goes, it just becomes less effective. So wow, man, that is interesting stuff, man. And you also mentioned earlier, the materials that you guys have used, you made a few changes just to improve it. It's a super durable stainless steel, and it's resistant to a lot of chemicals, man. So a lot of growers, they worry about rust. They worry about their organic stuff, causing issues, or anything seeping off into their mixes, into their solutions, and getting onto their plants, causing issues. So tell us a little bit about that, man. How durable is that material, and how concerned should growers be, if at all?
Yeah, so the heavy metal issue is obviously a big piece for most people. Is there going to be heavy metals that leach? That's why we use the products that we did. So you reduce the amount of things that can leach, and we focus on a lot of plastic things that aren't going to leach at all. So from a heavy metal standpoint, so most of the product, you're not even really touching anything that could leach. And then the things that you do touch, we made sure that they're not in the heavy metal categories and things of that nature that can leach. So that's just another benefit that we've done with the machine too. So
yeah, amazing, man. Great stuff. And the safety precautions, are there any other safety precautions? I know you mentioned at the beginning of the show, always wear your glasses and stuff like that. But just to recap, what sort of safety precautions should growers use when they're using this E-static mist? Because those particles are super fine.
Yep. So if you look at Kyle's, the wand itself, you're going to see on the wand, it requests that you use on the wand itself a certain style glove. You can't really read it very well, but on the side of the machine, it says you should wear a glove. If you want to read it to them, Kyle, you can. And basically, we just say that for the end user. This is electrostatic. So there is a positive charge that's running through this machine. So if you were to take your fingertip and put it on the tip of that gun itself and pull the trigger at the same time, you're going to feel that electrostatic charge. You're gonna feel it. It's gonna kick you one. So
I've been bit a couple times,
so it'll light you up if you're not paying attention. Again, there's some case instances too, right? End user in our network was using it and said, "Hey, when I'm pushing in the canopies with my hand and I'm not wearing them, I feel the electric charge all the way down my arm." Well, I mean, if in that case, maybe wear longer sleeves or get a gaitered glove. Yeah. So there's different things, obviously, that you can utilize from a protective PPE per se that'll help you not absorb any of that feeling.
That's pretty interesting, man. So Kyle, how does it feel? Does it feel like a taser? The cops hitting you one?
It's not as bad as a cop taser. I'd say that it's closer to a bee sting. That's what I say. Okay. You get bit a little bit. It's not too bad, but you know that you touched something that you shouldn't.
Yeah, I should not put my finger there again.
No, you don't want to put your finger on the tip and start spraying because that's where the charge comes from. So you feel it. It gives you that little we'll call it a corrective measure.
A little warning.
Exactly. And that's why I just call it getting bit a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I got you. I like that, man. This is awesome, man. Well, I got to ask, you guys got any other products upcoming on the radar for growers to be excited about? Anything new that we should be, looking out for?
Yeah. So again, we have all the products to help keep clean your facility. So yeah. When it comes to, that piece, we have it all taken care of. So from the front of the house to the back of the house, we can make sure that your facility stays clean. Cleanliness is one of the main target for most commercial facilities and commercial settings, is because, and perception is reality. If you got dirty floors, you probably got dirty rooms. And if you got dirty rooms, you probably got issues. So at the end of the day, making sure that you keep your stuff clean and in shape, that's perspective is reality. So practice what you preach. And if you can keep your front area clean, you're more than likely you're going to be able to keep the back area clean too, or vice versa. Yeah.
And it'll all pay off in terms of your final product. Think of it that way. You won't have anything to worry about. Well, I think we've touched on a lot of different things, man. We've learned a lot about the E-static mist. That is an awesome spray you guys have got there. And I was really, really grateful to just be able to kick it with you guys and learn a little bit more about it. So before we head out, man, where can the people find you if they want to get in touch with you, see what you guys have got going on, maybe shoot you an email or follow you on the socials? Where can they do that, man?
Yeah, so we'll actually be at MJ Biz in November. So we'll be out over there. So, stop by our booth and check us out. And then also we have an Instagram page. So it's _E-static mist, all one word. So we're on that social platform. We also have a landing page. It's just estaticmist.com. You can direct email us at info@estaticmist.com. And that's just our info line. And then obviously my name's Brian. That's Kyle. We both work for the company, and we have personal numbers and emails that we can send out to anybody that needs them to get in contact with us, because we're really here to help at the end of the day. That's our job, and we actually care. So it's one thing that's unique about us, is we really want to make sure that what you're using is the right tool for you, because at the end of the day, if you're happy, we are too. And we just really care about all of our end users, and that's the family-owned integrity at work that we've always thrived to have.
Hell yeah, man. That is awesome. And that's what it's all about, man. Giving back to the community and sharing that love and taking that feedback and making the products better, because everyone just wants to share that love and improve the efficiency, man. So smash the like button for that, guys. I had an awesome time kicking with you both. Brian and Kyle, you guys rock. You guys are friggin' awesome. Thanks a lot for kicking it with us, man. Really do appreciate it, man. A lot of people tuned into this premiere right now. And on behalf of the thousands that'll watch it afterward, man, thank you guys so much for taking the time to kick it with us, man. We had a great one.
Thank you so much for having us in this podcast. I know that it's well attended by many. I love watching the episode, so I'm glad to actually be a part of one now.
Appreciate it, man. Well, yeah, most definitely. And I had a blast kicking with both of you guys at CannaCon, Kyle and Brian. You guys are both awesome gents. And yeah, we'll stay in touch very soon, man. And guys, don't forget, smash that like button, hit that bell, and don't forget, most importantly, stay high and stay fly. And we'll see you on the next one.